never know what can happen. You know, that morning we left to go to Walmart.
21-year-old Chelsea Childers is talking about the morning of November 2nd.
You never expect to load your kids up to go to the grocery store and never see one of them again. You never expect it.
Chelsea was in the passenger seat of a minivan her fiancé Chris was driving. 3 of her 4 kids were in the back. They say they swerved to avoid a car in front of them who suddenly stopped to turn. Only they ended up in the path of an oncoming cement truck, eventually hitting another car in the Pulaski Township intersection.
None of us should have made it. That was horrible. You look at that and you automatically think everybody in that car was gone.
These are pictures of the aftermath given to us by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. Chelsea was thrown backwards and ejected out of the rear passenger sliding door.
I was laying on top of the sliding door. My door was on top of my arm, and I was on the ground, so I could see my children.
They were all 3 still buckled in their car seats, but she noticed her youngest, Melanie, wasn't moving. When rescue crews arrived on scene, they ended up airlifting Melanie and Chelsea to Mercy St. Vincent's in Toledo. It's there, 2 days later. Chelsea, still on a ventilator and just coming out of a medically induced coma, learned her daughter didn't make it.
She was just the happiest baby in the world. And now she's gone.
Melanie may have only been 6 months old, but she was a fighter. She was born 10 weeks early, had a chronic lung disease, a feeding tube, and was admitted to the hospital 12 times in her short life.
The fear of losing her was in our mind every day, but you never think it would be a car accident.
But 2 children did walk away from the crash that November morning with nothing but small scratches and a little bruising. 3-year-old Madison and 1-year-old Matthew.
I've always been so big on car seat safety because you never know what can happen, and it's literally between life and death.
And it's Chelsea's diligence that may have just saved the lives of Madison and Matthew.
You shouldn't have to bury your child, and this can save them.
Chelsea reached out to us to share her story because she wants other parents to be educated. Gina Veras is an injury prevention specialist with ProMedica. She says they definitely see parents turning their children around to forward-facing too soon.
The recommendation years ago was a year old and 20 pounds, and so I think a lot of people still have that in mind.
But now certified child passenger safety technicians recommend 2 years old and 35 to 40 pounds.
They're 5 times safer when they're rear-facing because of the less impact on their head and neck than when they're forward-facing.
Matthew, even though days away from turning 2, was still rear-facing. Chelsea says doctors told her if he had been forward-facing, he would have likely been internally decapitated.
Instead of him being thrown forwards, the back of his car seat took all of the force.
She was also told Madison would have been ejected if the straps on her front-facing car seat weren't as tight as they were.
It was an extremely bad accident, and those car seats saved my children's lives. Now it's hard to share my story. It's hard to talk about it because I relive that accident every day. And it's extremely difficult, but it's worth it. Because if I could help one mom not go through what I've gone through, or if I can save one child's life, it's more than worth it.
That was Emily Voss reporting. Chelsea still has a long road to recovery. She needed extensive surgery on her arm. She lacerated her spleen, her liver, broke her pelvis, 3 vertebrae in her back. She's still in a wheelchair and will likely be for several more months. The family's also been left with no car, some large expenses, including Melanie's burial and headstone. They do have a GoFundMe account if you would like to help. If you want more information on that or how to set up a free consultation with a certified child passenger safety technician, you can do it all at WTOL.com.